Archaeologists have decided that a Viking Age treasure trove found in Scotland by metal detectorists 7 years ago is the richest and most complicated one ever found in Britain. The discovery is the result of 3.5 years of meticulous scientific research and throws extraordinary new light on the geopolitical and theological realities of the early medieval period. Originally assumed to be a Viking hoard buried by pagan Viking warlords, the wealth was discovered in the Glenkens district of Galloway, southwest Scotland. However, new evidence suggests that it was most likely an Anglo-Saxon trove buried by Christian monks or priests. In this video, we delve into the attack that changed history, uncovering the mystery of the First Viking Raid. Welcome to History Says on YouTube. Remember to hit like, share, and subscribe. The meticulous study, which included X-rays, CT scans, microscopy, and molecular research, found that the trove is mostly made up of two sorts of treasure: silver bullion, as well as precious Christian relics and ceremonial paraphernalia. Furthermore, new evidence reveals that the wealth, known as the Galloway Hoard, was not only non-Viking but was likely stashed about 900 AD to avoid coming into Viking hands. The top layer, a sacrificial decoy, was mostly made of silver bullion, plus a beautiful silver cross. The hoard's owners, on the other hand, had purposefully built a fake bottom to the area of the pit where the higher layer was put. For behind 8 centimeters of natural gravel, the previous owners had buried a far larger layer of riches, including holy artifacts and high-status religious equipment, as well as more silver bullion. That bottom layer, which the owners evidently valued much more than the above decoy layer, included more than 80 artifacts, providing an unparalleled view into the kind of religious and other valuables that great Anglo-Saxon churches and monasteries would have had. Normally, such objects would not have lasted elsewhere, but in this rare case, they did, thanks to a Viking threat. There are at least 5 possible holy relics, each of which is apparently related in some manner to certain Christian saints and martyrs whose names are unknown. Among these holy relics are 2 little scoops of dirt and dust with minute gold particles visible to the naked eye. They were most likely made by rolling soil in the dust around an important relic. Other rare examples are from the Vatican in Rome and an Irish established abbey at Bobbio, 60 miles south of Milan. And it's known that at least the Vatican ones were formed and brought back by pilgrims who visited Bethlehem, the Jordan River, and Jerusalem's Church of the Holy Sepulchre between the 7th and 9th centuries. Those earth relics from the Vatican were thus from the locations linked with Jesus' birth, baptism, and burial. As a result, it is possible that the 2 earthen relics in the Galloway Hoard had comparable religious significance. A 5 centimeters long black schist touchstone, a precious metal assayer's instrument, is enclosed in gold filigree. Clearly, the touchstone had no inherent worth, but the gold surrounding it shows that it had significant spiritual importance. There are many saints who were goldsmiths or silversmiths, including the 7th century French Saint Eligius. Therefore, the black schist touchstone might be identified with one of them. Similarly, a 3 centimeters diameter blue glass, probably Anglo-Saxon bead, with little inherent value, is put in a wonderfully designed silver mount. It's probable that this too was a relic or a reliquary linked with an unnamed saint. Finally, the researchers discovered a little rock crystal sphere placed in a cross-shaped silver mount as a probable relic. It's likely that the crystal ball was regarded as a relic, a talisman, or both. Crystal spheres have been regarded as protective charms since pre-Christian times. Apart from these precious relics and probable relics, the research has uncovered 2 more possible religious artifacts, both of which are located in the lowest high-security section of the trove. The biggest is a 14 centimeters tall lidded jar made of gilt silver that is beautifully designed. It's possible that it was used to store sacred oil, used for anointing priests and curing the sick, or holy water, but the object's provenance is what sets it apart in Britain. Archaeologists were able to unveil its iconography using 3D X-ray imaging methods, and they decided that it was almost probably created in the Middle East by Persian or Persian-influenced silversmiths between the 6th and 8th centuries AD. It's the first time anything like it has been discovered in Britain, and it's decorated with Zoroastrian-style fire altars, winged crowns, leopards, and tigers. The Vikings named this newly discovered region Vinland, despite the fact that their tenure would be brief. North America, unlike Greenland and Iceland, was already colonized. The conflict between Viking settlers and Native Americans grew to the point that Vinland was no longer a viable area for the Vikings to inhabit. They packed their belongings and flew back to Greenland. The Vikings fled after the fall of Danelaw in England, but they were not through with the nation yet, and they successfully conquered it in the early 11th century. Sweyn Forkbeard became the first Danish king of England in 1013. Knut the Great, his son, reigned until his death in 1035. The Viking presence in England ended in 1066, when an English force led by monarch Harold defeated Norway's last major Viking king, Harald Hardrada, in the Battle of Stamford Bridge near York. This concludes today's video. Thanks for watching, and if you like the video, give us big thumbs and subscribe to the channel.